Hello everybody, it's me Jones Jay here. New York City is the largest city in the United States, with over 8 million residents in the city limits and nearly 20 million people in its metropolitan area. It is also America's most dense city, with a population density of nearly 30,000 people per square mile spread across its 5 boroughs. With so many people packed into a relatively small space, it's no surprise that New York City suffers from extreme traffic congestion. According to the INRIX 2023 Global Traffic Scorecard, New York City ranked number 1 globally as the most congested city, with drivers losing an average of 101 hours annually to congestion. In an attempt to reduce congestion, New York City is introducing congestion pricing. This policy aims to discourage driving while encouraging walking, cycling, and public transit. It also seeks to generate revenue to improve the subway system, particularly by making it more accessible to people with disabilities. But what exactly is congestion pricing? How does it work? And why is it happening now? I know a lot of people are struggling to understand congestion pricing, so stick around as I break it all down for you. Before we begin, I make content on a variety of topics, including architecture, gaming, urbanism, and more, so make sure to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you can stay up to date on my content. Congestion pricing isn't a new idea for New York City. Since the 1930s, various mayors have proposed ways to limit traffic in Manhattan, from tolling bridges to banning private cars altogether. In 2007, Mayor Bloomberg came closest to implementing it with an $8 daily fee for cars entering below 60th Street. Despite support from transit experts and federal grants to help fund it, the plan fell apart due to political opposition, particularly from representatives of boroughs where public transit options are limited. The idea would continue to linger, though, as traffic worsened year after year, with average speeds in Manhattan's business district now as low as 7 miles per hour and delays costing drivers over 100 hours annually. It became clear that New York City needed a solution for its worsening congestion. Fast forward to today, and New York City's congestion pricing is finally set to become reality. Here's how it will work. Drivers entering Manhattan below 60th Street will pay a fee of $9 per car. Exceptions include emergency vehicles, local buses, individuals with a disability, and low-income drivers. Through traffic and drivers using routes like the FDR Drive or New York Route 9A without stopping in the congestion zone are also exempt from the charge. To put it more simply, if you are just passing through the congestion zone, then you will not be charged. The charge will only apply if your destination is in the congestion zone. The goal is to reduce traffic while generating funds to improve public transit. All net revenue will go towards upgrading New York City's subways, buses, and commuter rail systems, making alternatives to driving even more accessible. Now, introducing congestion pricing has garnered a lot of controversy among Americans that don't understand why Manhattan would want to charge drivers an extra fee. We can see that when looking at the modal share of major cities around the world, American cities are uniquely significantly more car-centric. Because the United States is one of the most car-dependent countries in the world, many Americans are used to having to rely on their car to go basically anywhere, and therefore have formed an expectation that people everywhere must also drive everywhere like them. But there is one American city that is a major exception to this, and that is none other than New York City, which has a much more balanced modal share that is more similar to other major cities around the world. New York City is a place where the majority of people don't rely on cars, and instead rely on walking, cycling, and public transportation to get around. When looking at the data, we can see that only 11% of Manhattan commuters commute by car, while 85% use transit. This isn't heard of anywhere else in the country, so it's understandable that many Americans would misunderstand the situation. To help you better understand the uniqueness of Manhattan compared to the rest of the US, let's break it down. First, population density. Manhattan's population density is staggering. If we look at all of Manhattan south of 60th Street, where the designated congestion zone is for the congestion pricing, over 684,000 residents are packed into just 9 square miles, giving it a population density of around 76,000 people per square mile. That is so dense that if this area was its own city, it would rank in the top 10 most densely populated cities in the world, right among places like Kolkata, Kathmandu, and Makati. And then when you add 1.2 million daily commuters into this extremely dense area, the strain on roads and transit systems is immense. Second, the modal share. As we discussed earlier, unlike most of the US, the majority of New Yorkers don't rely on cars. Walking, cycling, and public transit dominate, making New York City uniquely suited for a system that prioritizes non-driving modes of transportation. The funds from congestion pricing would go towards improving these other modes of transportation that the vast majority of New Yorkers use. In addition to understanding Manhattan's unique situation, we can also look abroad at global success stories. New York City is not the first city to introduce the idea of congestion pricing. Congestion pricing has worked wonders in cities like London and Stockholm, reducing traffic, improving air quality, and boosting public transit systems. London saw a 30% drop in congestion and significant investments in its transit network, like the Elizabeth line, which has seen massive success. And one final point that I'd like to talk about is transportation efficiency. A common misconception among many Americans unfamiliar with urban planning and civil engineering is that traffic congestion can be solved by simply widening roads to make more space for cars. However, the reality is that widening roads almost never solves traffic problems. In fact, it often makes them worse due to a concept called induced demand, which I've explored in greater detail in another video. Additionally, cars are inherently space inefficient in densely populated cities. For instance, Toronto's Highway 401, the busiest highway in all of North America, moves around 400,000 people daily across its 18 lanes. That may seem like a decent number until you compare it to the busiest transit line in North America. That would be the New York City Subway's Lexington Avenue line, which moves around 1.3 million people per day, or more than 3 times as many people as the busiest highway in North America, while also taking up significantly less space. To put it simply, the only real solution to traffic congestion in densely populated areas is providing viable alternatives to driving. Congestion pricing aims to discourage unnecessary trips and ensure that the people who truly need to drive can do so more efficiently. Pushing for a more balanced modal share will not only help improve congestion, but also give people the freedom to choose how they want to get around. Cities that are more multimodal tend to be better places with less congestion than cities where driving is the only viable option. Congestion pricing in New York City is meant to be an incentive to get people that don't need to drive to switch to other modes of transportation, so that the people that do genuinely need to drive have less traffic congestion to deal with. It's a win-win for everybody. In conclusion, New York City's congestion pricing is a transformative step for America's largest city. It's rooted in decades of planning and inspired by global successes designed to tackle traffic and improve public transit. By charging drivers to enter the most congested areas of Manhattan, the city aims to reduce gridlock, cut emissions, and fund a better transit system for everybody. Will it work? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: it's a bold move towards a more sustainable and efficient future for New York City. Thanks a lot for watching this video. If you enjoyed it and found it informative, be sure to give it a like and subscribe so that you do not miss my future content. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think about New York City's congestion pricing plan. Do you think it'll have a more positive or negative effect on the city? Thanks again for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.